Hello everybody. Today we're going to be looking at task 4, learning about fractions. On the first slide, we are going to be looking at shading fractions of shapes. In my first shape, I know I've got my denominator says 4, which means I should have 4 equal parts. My top number, which is the numerator, tells me how many parts I need to shade. So in this shape, I need to shade 2 equal parts. You can choose any 2 that you wish to shade in. You could choose the same as I have or any 2 that you would like to. Look at the next one. I've got, again, my denominator tells me 4 equal parts, but my numerator this time is saying I need to shade 3 of those 4 equal parts. So I'm going to shade 3 equal parts. You again can choose whichever part you would like to shade. I'm going to go on to the next one, which is said 1/3. That means I've got 3 equal parts, but I only need to shade 1 of those equal parts. I'm going to choose to shade the middle one. You again can either choose the right or the left. That's entirely up to you, as long as you have 1 equal part shaded. In my next one, I've got 2 equal parts. I need to again only shade 1, because that's what my numerator is telling me to do. I'm going to shade the one on the right hand side. You could choose the one on the left, entirely your choice. The next slide we're going to look at is shapes, and still looking at fractions of shapes, but this time the shapes are all shaded. You need to tell me how many parts are shaded, or rather, as the question's asking, how many parts is not been shaded or hasn't been shaded. So if I look at the first one, I'm going to draw my line first and count how many equal parts altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts altogether. And then I'm going to count, my question says, which fraction hasn't been shaded? 1, 2, and I'm going to write it at the top. My numerator is 2. Looking at the next one, I've got my line. How many equal parts altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many again has not been shaded? 1, 2, 3, and I've got 3/4. Let's look at the next one. How many equal parts have I got? I've got 3 equal parts altogether. And again, how many hasn't been shaded? Just 1. My last one, I've got 2 equal parts altogether, and just 1 that hasn't been shaded. So you can check yours with mine. So when I get to the main activity, these are ones you need to do on your own. Looking at the main activity now, got some similar shapes that you've done a minute ago. So the first one, it says how many parts of the shape have not been colored in, and the same with the next box. What you've got to remember is your denominator is telling you how many equal parts all together, and your numerator needs to tell you how many parts has not been shaded. Remember that, how many parts has not been shaded. Then you need to write your fraction in the boxes. When we go to the far right side, we've got 3 shapes there. This time you have to do the coloring. So you're going to shade, in the first one you're going to shade 3/4. In the next one you're going to shade 1/2, and in the last one you need to shade 1/3. Remember, your numerator is telling you how many of those equal parts needs to be shaded. Well, let's look at the next one. It says Andy has calculated 1/3 of 18 using the bar method. Calculate this yourself to check if Andy is correct. Now, just in case you're not sure what the bar method is, I'm going to explain it. I'm not going to explain a third of 18, however. I'm going to explain a third of 50. So, this is what your bar looks like. So again, I'm looking at how many altogether. I need 3 parts, because it's telling me I need 3 parts, 3 equal parts. But I've got 15, so I'm going to write 15 here, because that's 15 objects altogether. Now, when we do the bar method, you can use circles, you can draw it, or you can use numbers, because when you look at this third of 15, you're actually saying 15 divided by 3. But for those of us that are not able to count in 3, we can still draw to help us. Now, when we say 15 divided by 3, dividing is sharing. And that's what we're going to do in our bar model. We're going to use circles. So we do sharing one at a time so that it's fair and it's equal. And we do it until we have 15 in all 3 boxes all together. So I'm going to just stop and count how many have I got at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's not enough. 13, 14. Now I have 15. But it says I need only 1 part, because it's 1/3. I'm going to count 1 box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's what my answer is. But just to make sure that I've got 5 in each box, because it's got to be fair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you do yours, you need to draw a diagram like the bar method there, and check if Andy is correct. Is it correct that 1/3 of 18 is 7? Check it yourself. In the next box, you can use the bar method as well to calculate those answers. So just remember, when you do the bar method, that you make sure you draw in the nice correct amount of boxes for each sum. So you've got 1/3, so you need 3 equal parts. 1/4, you need 4 equal parts. And half, you need 2 equal parts. Once you've completed your main activity, we can move now on to our problem solving and our reasoning. So I'm going to talk you through it. We're going to talk it through one at a time and see how you can try it by yourself. I'm not going to do it for you, but I will talk it through together. Number 1 says, the whole pie is split into how many parts? If you look over there, you've got a pie. Check how many parts have you got there, because it's split down in the middle. Write the number in the box. Then it says, each part is worth what? What is one of these parts called? You just have to write the word in there. This is the same as, and write it as a fraction. When you look at number 2, it says, which pictures represent a half? Does this represent a half? Or this one? Or this one maybe? Have a chat with your adult and explain why you think each one is or not a half. If you look at the last one, we've got Laura, Susie and Jasmine are running a race. Laura has run further than halfway. Susie has run exactly halfway. Jasmine has run less than halfway. Draw on the line where each child would be between the start and the end of the race. I'm going to give you a little clue. It might be helpful if you put the one who has run exactly halfway down first before you add the other 2 in. Enjoy it. Once you've completed, let's have a look at the problem solving. Now, the problem solving is quite an interesting problem. It says Ben and Zara both think they have shaded equal parts of their shapes. Are they correct? Explain how you know. Look at your questions on the side of your slide. So the one says, think about how many squares are there in the whole shape? Have Ben and Zara shaded the same amount of squares? Are the numbers equal? How many are not shaded? Who is correct? Check and think about explaining how you know. That's the most important part. Enjoy that reasoning problem, and I'm sure you'll be able to find the answer. Hope you've enjoyed the session today. Take care, keep well, and keep safe.